We will see not only what I've been using nowadays, but also what I plan to try in the future. Make sure you stay till the end to see which ones. The first of the list is Xunit. Xunit is the tool that I bring into all my .NET test projects. The thing that I love on Xunit is that it's really simple. You use the concepts that you already know from the language, like taking advantage of constructors and destructors, all those kind of things, and it becomes really simple to use Xunit. So that's why I really like it. Besides that, I have noticed, even doing some polls on the community, that Xunit is heavily used in our .NET field. So it's becoming the main framework for unit testing on .NET. That's one good reason to use it. The other one that I really love is Fluent assertions. I bring Fluent assertions every single time that I start a test project. Why? Because with Fluent assertions, you can express your assertions in a clear and fluent way that I really enjoy. Besides that, Fluent assertions has a lot of small features that will make your test readable and easy to understand when you are reading it. I'm not saying that you can't achieve the same with other tools like Shudley that I used in the past, or even with the assertions that you already have on Xunit, for example. But the difference is how clean and expressive your tests become when you use Fluent assertions. Mock or mock-you, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's one of those that I bring a lot of times into my projects. I try to not overuse mocks, to be honest. I often build my own fakes, but sometimes there's a space to use a mocking library. And when I do it, I usually use mock. I think this one will change in the future if I revisit my tool stack again, but is one that I'm quite used to use and I've been using for a long time. Fluent Docker is another one that I really like, that I use a lot nowadays, and most people don't know it. So what is Fluent Docker? Fluent Docker is a Fluent API that is really expressive, where you can define, for example, the containers that you want to use, you want to spin up them, you can define all the things that you can define on a Docker Compose file, or even you can start based on a Docker Compose file using csharp your Docker containers. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to use. It's a really well-defined Fluent API that you can use, okay? As you can see on this small example. So when do I use it? I use it when I'm writing integration tests against, for example, a database or a messaging system, a given storage, something that I can host inside of a Docker container and test against the real thing. So what I do is that since I use Xunit, I have, for example, a fixture that will bring Fluent Docker to define my containers, and I will spin up those. I run my tests against those containers, and by the end, I dispose those containers through Fluent Docker. And one cool thing of Fluent Docker is that there are some packages there that you can use with Xunit, for example, or MS Test. I'm not sure if you can do it with an unit or not, but there are some integrations that you can do to define your tests and to take advantage of some fixtures that are already in the library. Make sure you try it. Those that I told you so far are the ones that I bring into my test projects that are written in .NET. But often there are some things that you need to do against, for example, your API. And on those cases, like soak testing, load testing, stress testing your software, I really like to use K6. With K6, we will write your tests using JavaScript, but it's really simple to use and you don't need to be an expert on JavaScript to write tests with K6. I don't write a lot of tests with K6, but I write some just to make sure that my system is behaving as I expect when I assemble everything. Another one that you need to write JavaScript to write your tests is Cypress, and is one that I really like. Why do I like it? If you have used Selenium in the past to test your UIs, you will like Cypress, because Cypress has the same goal basically. You will test your UI. But the way that you define it and the stability that Cypress has when compared to Selenium, I think that is really winning. If you want to test your web applications, things that are running inside of your browser, make sure you give it a try to Cypress. It's really useful on that. Those are the tools that I've been using during 2022. So now let's see the ones that I want to give it a try in 2023. The first one is and substitute. It's one that I've seen a lot of people saying that is awesome, and I have started recently playing around with it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I find it more elegant and pleasant to use when compared to mock. Mock is a bit more complex when compared to and substitute from what I've seen so far. I'm not sure if you can do the same things with and substitute, maybe not, but to be honest, on my experience, I usually use always the same stuff on mock. Another one that I want to play around is Bogus by Brian Chavez, and this one I've seen a lot of things being written about it. I can imagine myself using it in a lot of scenarios, but I bet that I can bring it into my test cases to build proper data for testing. Since I have the habit of building my own fakes, what I'm imagining to do is trying to use Bogus to generate data on those fakes, for example. And the cool thing of Bogus is that it will generate fake data, but in fact, it looks like real data. Okay? It doesn't seem like random strings, random ints. It's something that makes sense. And one thing that I've learned during my career is that every single time that you need to use data just for the sake of demo, for the sake of testing, it's useful to use something that is meaningful. Otherwise, it will bring confusion to the people that are reading those tests, that are observing that demo. So it's pretty cool to have, and it's cool that we have something like this in .NET. Last but not least, Playwright. Playwright is one that I want to give it a chance because I've seen a lot of people saying good things about it. And the cool thing of Playwright is that you can write your tests with .NET. So what I can imagine is if I like to use Playwright, maybe I will replace Cypress by Playwright by the fact that I can write my tests using .NET. You can still use Playwright with other languages. For example, you can be doing it on Node.js, with Python, with Java. But the fact that I can use the language that I'm most proficient with, it's something that seems really attractive to me. So I want to give it a try since it accomplishes the same things as Cypress, and let's see how it goes. From this list, one of my absolute favorites is Fluent assertions. If you want to see what Fluent assertion is capable of, make sure you watch this video right here. What do you think about this list? Do you have any other tool that you think that I should give it a try and maybe be part of my tech stack? I will see you soon, and in the meanwhile, just keep it simple.